billion people. It's not a joke. 1.3 billion people. But that website didn't even break once. The slots ran out, but the website was still up and running. The entire COVID platform was built on AWS. So that's the kind of scale that we are talking. This will definitely not work. Right? So what are the asks from businesses today? We need like an agile and scale. That COVID platform was, we never know, with the digital economy going forward, you'll have like a certain application. Any workload for that matter, which can scale up quickly because you can't wait for the hardware to be delivered. Imagine you've got you have a gaming company tomorrow, right? And if you're an application that gives out cricket news, right? Now combine the cricket news with the gaming application. Tomorrow, if you've got the likes of IPL coming up, everybody will be on their mobiles. And then if it's not agile enough or scalable enough, it's going to crash. What's the point of getting into a digital economy or digital gaming platform when you think that this is going to crash every now and then with the number of people adding up on your platform, right? The number of people are going up, but all of them are getting a poor UI. So you need something that is reliable, high performance, to provide better customer experience. It has to be highly available. Right? You can't really have an application let down. All this, like I said, cloud computing is one of those. I would say the most important part about cloud computing is, of course, infrastructure and the advances and the innovation that you get with the platform, because that's what the hardcore cloud companies are doing. They are just putting out innovation out there, and then it's up to the organization to leverage that. But what's the cost of running that innovation? So with cloud, you achieve better cost optimization because you only pay for what you use, right? If you anticipate, and if you start predicting, predictions generally go wrong, right? If I predict that tomorrow I'm starting, my own Instagram, or tomorrow I'm starting my own Amazon, seller, right? And I have an e-commerce company tomorrow, and I'll buy 15 servers because I feel that I will have 100,000 users. And I think 15 servers will be good enough. Now I run a marketing campaign. And instead of, say, 100,000 users, I get 1 million users. Then will I go back and call hundreds of people saying that, hey, do you have a spare server? Do you have a spare server? I need like a lot of capacity because I'm losing out business. And that's where the scalability, the agility, as well as the cost optimization comes in. Because imagine if you run that marketing campaign, you will get 1 million users for that particular day. The next day, it's gone, right? There are no more discounts and there are no more users coming in. From, say, 1 million users, I'm going down to, again, maybe 50,000, 100,000. So what happens to those additional 15, 20 servers that I've just bought? They're just lying there, right? I've bought something. It's like buying a car and just driving it once in a month. I would rather take a Ola or a Uber or something like that. Right? And then just running your applications is no longer the need of that, right? You need to know what your users are doing. You need to know when are the users coming in. You need to know how are your users behaving on your platform, because that's how you'll be able to give out the right campaign. You'll be able to give out the right marketing messages. You'll be able to scope your demography, right? You'll be able to understand that, hey, this user's birthday is on so and so date. Why don't I give him a surprise by just sending out some pudding, right? And that adds to delight. But how do you know all this? It's all about whatever data that you capture. When you sign in, I'm sure you sign in with your email ID, your phone number. Some of them will ask your birthday, whatnot, right? And all of that data gets stored somewhere, and that data is being used to get insights into your behavior. And that is how that we provide today to give out your users the right recommendations at the right time, so that the propensity for those users to buy or the propensity for those users to come on the platform increases a lot. Yeah. So you just personalized to do that. You would have probably seen on your app, or whenever you open Amazon application, you will see that a bunch of things get recommended to you based on what you would have bought in the past. So, what are the six advantages of cloud computing? Uh, very fixed expense for variable expense, right? You're not buying, like I said, the example that I give, you're not buying a specific set of compute resources. You're actually being pretty agile and you get what you need whenever you need, right, within minutes. Um, that will also help you to benefit from the massive economy of scale, right? So, have you ever heard about bulk million and discount million? That is what it is, right? If you buy 10 servers for yourself, you'll be stuck with those 10 servers and you'll never know whether you'll be able to use those at their full potential. And you'll be stuck with those for almost 5 years or 6 years. Easily. Now, if you say that at Amazon, you're getting, whenever you need it, you're getting these 10 servers and then you're spinning it down again to one server because you don't need it anymore. You are actually able to benefit from the economies of scale because Amazon has already bought all of these compute capacity at the back end in their data centers in bulk, right? And then when you have thousands of organizations using that infrastructure, bulk India to discount milega, right? So we pass on, it's like a flywheel. We pass on all of those discounts back to the organization. So we don't want to keep all of that, right? We are able to collect all of that and pass it back to the organization so that the organizations can also benefit from the economies of scale. The more organizations using AWS, the better pricing that we can work out for the organizations. Stop guessing capacity. Like I said, if you own an e-commerce company, you never know when the number of users will grow. You never know what kind of transactions will happen on your platform. The more the number of transactions, the more you're in trouble with fixed infrastructure. Right? So stop guessing capacity. The more lets you add capacity on the go, and it will also remove some of the capacity which is not being used, so that you don't have to do the manual intervention and over it to get the server down again by monitoring it constantly. Everything is managed on Alpha. With that, naturally you get better cost optimization because then you are just using what you need. Right? There are multiple managed services which helps you to increase speed and agility. And the economies of scale, I want to bring up one more point. Right? When you buy a server, for example, I'm just comparing it to on-prem right now. When you buy a server, you're stuck with it for 5 to 6 years. Right? When you buy a mobile, how long do you use it for? You don't change it every year, right? I don't think I've not come across anyone changing it like every year, barring a few. Or at least you use it for like 4 or 5 years. You stick to that laptop, you stick to that phone. Over a period of time, you see that the performance goes down, right? The hardware becomes old. There are better models coming out there. Then you feel like, hey, probably I should have used it because I bought this phone at 30,000 rupees and now I'm getting a better phone at 20,000 rupees, right? After 3 or 4 years. So what happens in cloud is when as an organization, when you buy a bunch of compute hardware, that's exactly what happens to your hardware. It'll die down, it'll slow down, right? We'll have to maintain, we'll have to put some also, the other thing is you need to hire a lot of people to look after the data center, right? You will have to have supply, you'll have to have electricity supply, cooling, you'll have to have like a realistic space to keep those servers somewhere. And you're losing out on a lot. And then who's at fault when the server goes down? So what happens in this spaces is the way that Amazon is working today is it's constantly innovating. There's an event that we do every year. It's called a reinvent, right? Every reinvent we come up with new uh, new instance types. Instance is nothing but a virtual machine, right? A hardware. Every year we come up with new instance types. Every year we come up with better hardware, better price to performance ratio, and so on and so forth. So what that allows you to do, so what that allows you to do is save a lot of cost, obviously, but pick up pace with innovation. Price to performance becomes better, and there's no FOMO. Right? You are not missing out on the best uh, compute out there. You're not missing out on the best processes out there. It's very easy to stop an instance and start an instance. Instance is nothing but a virtual machine, right? A compute capacity that you get. We call it virtual because it's virtual, right? And you'll be able to spin it up, you'll be able to kill it, you'll be able to constantly run it for the amount of time that you want to use. But what happens here is you'll be able to pick up on the compute, which is the latest compute in the market. If you are innovating something tomorrow, you'll be able to pick up on that innovation tomorrow. You don't have to wait for your current hardware to die down and then buy something else. We're talking about provisioning the latest services in minutes, right? Not years. And then go global in minutes. And I'll highlight the point in the next slide. So ऐसे go global. Okay, आप जब again I'll stick with the same two examples. तो आप जब भी Amazon यूज करेंगे या फिर Instagram यूज करेंगे, अभी आप आज इंडिया में हो, tomorrow you suppose you go to the US, then what? If I'm the application owner, if I own Instagram today, you're using it in India. मेरा सारा hardware India में है, right? मेरा सारा infrastructure India में है. If you are in India, you'll be able to get the lowest latency possible out there, right? And आप जब US जाओगे, तब वो distance भी बढ़ेगा. US से India तक आपका request आएगा, then it'll add to like 3 or 4 seconds of latency, and that's a big thing. 3 or 4 seconds of latency. Imagine OTP भी 5 सेकंड में आजकल पता चला. तो 4 सेकंड के लिए अगर रुकते बैठेंगे तो क्या ही होगा. So AWS has done is we've got regions, we've got availability. Region का मतलब क्या है कि region is a geographical location, right? In India, we've got regions in 2 places. One is Hyderabad, the other one is Mumbai. Region is nothing, like I said, but a geographical area. Region के अंदर रहता है availability zones. Availability zones is nothing but a cluster of data, 2 or more data, right? Because of security reasons, we do not reveal where these availability zones are, where are the data centers, and so on. We don't want to because we want to because this is thousands of organizations are using that data center. We don't want to risk it. That's completely against our plans. So what we do is in these regions, in these availability zones, every region has 3 availability zones. So there is a backup, right? Usually, hosting perspective, there are SLAs. Do you know what SLA is? Have you heard about this? Anyone? SLA? Sorry? Software as a service. Software as a service नहीं है. SLA. I'm talking about SLA. So SLA is nothing but a time limit, right? Or the uptime promised to you by Amazon towards its user. अगर Amazon बोल रहा है कि हम ये एक सर्वर देंगे और उसका अपटाइम 99% गारंटी कर रहे हैं आपको. जनरली वो 100% ही रहता है, और उनका गारंटी होता है 99.9999%. ये टूट जाता है, then that's a problem. But never. So what happens with SLAs is uh, we give out a promise to our customer that we want to keep their applications up and running. Right? अगर सर्वर up and running है तो एप्लीकेशन भी up and running रहेगा. Correct? इसीलिए throughout the world we've got 32 regions, just like we have in Hyderabad and Mumbai. We've got 32 regions. Under every region, we've got availability zones. Zones are like individual data centers, right? Cluster of data centers. और उसमें आपका एक अपना VPC बनता है, उसको बोलते हैं वर्चुअल प्राइवेट क्लाउड. और वो VPC के अंदर we start spinning out your resources, and that is completely isolated from other customers. Sharing data. Nobody has access to your, infra. Completely up to you on what you want to do with your application. Who do you want to give access to your? With this, we ensure that all these 32 regions are spread across the world, so that no matter where your users are today, they'll be able to get the same user experience on the application level.
सिंपल एग्जांपल आपने नेटफ्लिक्स देखा होगा, है ना? सब नेटफ्लिक्स पे कुछ ना कुछ देखते हैं, हॉटस्टार पे कुछ ना कुछ देखते हैं, राइट? आपको वो इतनी जल्दी मिलता है, मैं जो क्लिक ऑन अ बटन, जैसे आप क्लिक करें आपको वीडियो खुल जाता है ना? सबटाइटल्स कैसे आते हैं? दैट इज ऑल powered by AWS cloud computing. And how is it, why is it relevant? ये 450 points of presence, edge locations, it basically सब कुछ, the end goal क्या है कि सब हमारे कस्टमर, किसी भी कंपनी का क्या end goal है? एक तो obviously revenue बनाए, profit बनाए, है ना? कैसे बनेगा? As you reach, जितने भी number of customers globally, they are made globally जितना. Obviously you have to have a certain amount of performance for people to come to your website. Let's take a small example. छोटा example लेते हैं हम. अगर आप कोई website खोल रहे हो और let's say कुछ सीखने के लिए खोल रहे हो, ठीक है? Hypothetically, I don't want to disrespect any website, but Ajinkya.com is hypothetically an education website where you can learn about cloud computing. Okay? अब Ajinkya.com आपने अपने browser में डाल दिया. Ajinkya.com दे रहा है 5 सेकंड खोलने के लिए, बट इतना टाइम नहीं है, इतना पेशेंस किसी को नहीं है. हमें दूसरा मतलब 5 ऑप्शन होगा और and that's why we will go to those, right? So the point is, as a global company, if you're a Netflix, if you're a smaller company, even if you're a SaaS based company, even if you're, let's say, building a small little application, whether it's an Uber, Swiggy, Smart, latency is a very important concept, and it has to be as low as possible for you to increase in engagement. So that is really the point. That is the main objective to have this global infrastructure, which is why I think that's why you spend so much time with this, right? So why do people rely on AWS? AWS का कितना मतलब trust है? Because of global infrastructure and having points of presence across the world, so that you are able to deliver content. Whether that is text, image, video, at a low latency and high visibility, while still obviously maintaining a cost. You get to that data, but that is the point of the group infrastructure. Right? So if you want to learn why they are telling you all this, think of Netflix, think of Hotstar, think of any other, Amazon, think of Amazon. Yeah, right. Go ahead. So we'll just take about 10 more minutes. For that, I need a little of your help, please. For this slide to be relevant, I need to understand थोड़ा मुझे बता दो आप working professional कितने? Okay. And the rest students है, let's do a quick hand follow up for students. Okay. Mostly students and some working professionals, right? I'm assuming all of you have some developer tech background, right? Put your hand up if that's a no. And please feel free to thank you, because I'm basically a graduate and I'm still working at AWS, right? So let's assume that everyone has a tech background here. Now, obviously, uh, AWS is a platform that has been built for developers. Does anyone know about S3 as a product? Yes. Can you please help me a little and actually tell everyone about it?
So, setting storage services in AWS is basically creating infrastructure for storing the steady content.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So S3 stands for Simple Storage Service. It was launched in 2006. And any service that is launched of AWS is launched with developers in mind, right? So it was mostly developers that championed AWS as a platform because it is developer friendly. It is made for developers. It is not made for, let's say, a CEO of a company because it is not relevant to him or her, right? It is made for developers because that is the main point of building applications, right? Now, S3, yeah, great. S3 was obviously launched in 2006 with a lot of traction from developers, which is where we realized as a company that AWS, whatever product and service we make, has to be developer friendly. Okay, so when we sort of introduce or let's say launch products or services, we do that for a lot of customer feedback, right? And who are our customers? It's mostly different and decision makers, but mostly the developers. Uh, we get to the point of how AWS focuses on customer feedback, but the more important part, I think, which is what you always want to learn is how can I learn more about AWS? Let me give you a very simple example. I stand here in front of you today. I have been born and brought up in Delhi. I did my school, I did commerce, and my 11th and 12th, I did BCom honors from Delhi University, and then I went to my MBA. So in all this, everyone has noticed that I had zero tech background. Fair enough? Account manager at AWS. How did that happen? That happened with a very simple, okay, I wouldn't call it simple, let's not discount my effort, but it was a very simple process made by AWS and we do certification, right? So, very simple example. I started working for a healthcare tech startup. So my first introduction to digital technology, right? So right now, all that you're talking about databases, S3, simple storage, it's all can that. We कुछ नहीं समझ आ रहा था मुझे, ठीक है? तो मैंने वो सारा छोड़ दिया. Yeah, मैंने बोला देख लेना है, कुछ सीखना है, फिर वापस आएंगे. Okay? Now, we do this, right? There are certain links. So essentially, AWS has something known as a student hub, which is essentially a one-stop shop. So, जो भी student किसी को मतलब training, certification learn करना है, the student hub is a simple website. You can do a simple cloud Google. You can go to any Firefox, Chrome, whatever. Do quick Google search on AWS Student Hub, which is where you will understand how you can get trained and certified as a student. Now coming to your working professionals. Within AWS, we have a separate training and certification team that helps you. It actually incentivizes people to be trained on AWS. Now, why? Your question will be why, right? Why should we get trained on AWS? One is obviously people think that cloud platform. The second is so that AWS developers, startups, small and medium businesses, so enterprises, जो भी build कर रहे हैं AWS पे, they do it in the most optimized way. So we start from the customer and end at the customer, which is why we are as successful as we are today, right? So the little more on the training and certification team, right? There are certain campaigns that we run where first, obviously, now coming back to my story, is how did I reach here? The first step I took was I obviously had to do certain certification to learn about AWS Cloud. The first one is something else, it's like the Cloud Practitioner course. Has anyone heard about that? Can I just get a quick short time? Okay, so very simply put, it's a simple entry level certification to AWS. So हमें समझाएगा EC2 क्या है, S3 क्या है, कैसे डेटाबेस है, कौन से डेटाबेस है, हाउ डू यू स्टार्ट, कैसे हम AWS पे काम करना शुरू कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? That is called cloud practitioner course. The second is obviously an associate solution architect. I think to all your guys, is there any questions here now on anything that Ajinkya or I have mentioned? I'll carry on. So the point is that we need to get certified in order to obviously build on Amazon or AWS properly, right? So how do we basically do that? We do that through communities. One is I'll go bottom up, right? Something called the AWS user group in Jaipur, right? Now, what is the user group in Jaipur? This is something you all can easily be a part of. It is a peer-to-peer learning platform which is based in Jaipur. So developers like yourself, जैसे आप इधर बैठे हैं, जयपुर के स्पीकर में भी डेवलपर बैठे हैं बैंगलोर देखा, सिंपली पुट आपको अपने पेयर्स या अपने दोस्तों के साथ लर्न करने का मौका मिलेगा. नॉर्मली मैंने सुना है, ऑफ कोर्स आई एम नॉट अ डेवलपर, बट जो मैंने सोचा है अगर कोई डेवलपर क्वेरी या कुछ करता है, आप कैसे वो प्रॉब्लम आता है, वो आता है, आप कैसे सॉल्व करते हो, रोज से पूछते हो. Cool. So it's a peer-to-peer learning for it and this is specific to Jaipur. All right, so that the events, you can ask questions on this group, you can learn on this group. That's one, right? Here, this is the most fundamental grassroots level of learning AWS. It's just peer-to-peer learning. No interaction with AWS. It's just interacting with people who are like-minded developers like yourself. Then there's obviously something of which is called a community builder, right? That is second level, which we get. But essentially, जैसे आप AWS से ज़्यादा certificate करते हैं, you can also become a community builder and AWS. I'm going to leave that out of the conversation right now, but we are first at the stage of level 100 of certification, right? So my advice to you guys is firstly, learn a little more about the AWS user group. Be a part of this. There's a Slack channel. You can register here. There are events that you can also be a part of. Now, the other thing I wanted to cover is the AWS Student Cloud Clubs. Now, the Student Cloud Clubs, क्या है basically? It's obviously देश का program है, global program है, ठीक है? पर इंडिया में क्या होगा? जैसे मैं hypothetically में अभी पढ़ रही हूँ, जैसे ईयर सेकंड ईयर में, ठीक है? पर मुझे बनाया, मुझे क्लाउड कम्प्यूटिंग का सीखना है, कुछ स्टार्टअप करना है या कुछ सारा में काम भी करना है, राइट? और मैं मुझे क्लाउड कम्प्यूटिंग सीखना है या AWS को या GCP हो या तो भी और I don't know. Now, basically, again, peer-to-peer, grassroots level learning है. आपको मौका मिलता है कि आप कॉलेज में अपना एक क्लाउड कैप्टन बनो. And there's obviously this thing about self-care वगैरह. You can read more on the website. And then you become basically an ambassador, teach and make a community in your college to learn about AWS. Okay. So again, very simply, our intention is to start early, teach early, so that you obviously learn early, and then what is the advantage to आपके क्या करोगे आप, है ना? वो भी question है. Now, cloud computing as a concept has been here for years. बहुत सालों से है, but अगर आप देखते जा रहे हो, तो भी आपके दोस्त cloud computing काम कर रहे हो, तो आपके लिए पर्सनली आपके लिए बेहतर होगा सर्टिफिकेशंस, तो आपके लिए जॉब करियर के लिए बहुत होगा, आपकी नॉलेज के लिए ज़्यादा बेहतर होगा. एंड दैट्स अ पर्सनल थिंग फॉर यू. नो वन कैन एंजॉय क्लाउड सर्टिफिकेट, बिकॉज़ अगर आपको कुछ पता हो एग्जाम देके सर्टिफिकेट लेना बड़ी बात है ना. तो द क्लाउड क्लब एक और वो स्टूडेंट लेवल. अब हमारे वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल्स इधर पूछिए हमारे लिए क्या है ना? तो एक हमारी ट्रेनिंग सर्टिफिकेशन टीम है and specifically today that now that we're sitting here, there is actually an associate pattern. So up till September 29, you can actually get 50% discount on your AWS certification exam. And we will share this link with whoever we can, and then you can listen to it among people. But हमारा मोटिव है क्या सर्टिफाइड हुए और now what and when the CPC the ESA. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anyway, और अब आपका लास्ट क्वेश्चन होगा. हमने अजिंक्य और मैं आपके जयपुर टॉक किया, आपको एक घंटे के लिए लेक्चर दिया, आंसर दिया, अब उसके बाद क्या तो चाहिए अपने बैंगलोर गया है ना. अब क्या how do I upskill myself? There's something known as AWS Education, right? If you open that, it is a free platform for self-paced learning where you can actually learn about how to function on AWS, right? So the register now, this is an absolutely free platform for self-paced learning, training, basically get trained, certified, and basically upskill. Yes, अगर आपको एक career है at the end of the day, तो आपको certificate करने ही होंगे. That is no question, no brainer. So I think it falls here, guys. I hope I've able to help a little and I have a little more. I know कि आपकी brochure में जो मैंने पढ़ा है, there are a lot of certifications on our other friends and of course a lot of other companies. But I hope I've been able to explain a little more about the training and certification process, why it is important, what is the AWS tool. Last thing that I'd like to close with is who is aware of this yatra? Yatra as क्या एयरपोर्ट ट्रैवल किया होगा, क्या है यात्रा? क्या कुछ होता है? AWS recognition होता है. AWS recognition होता है. To understand the power of AWS, there are many customer stories. बहुत से ज़्यादा मतलब customer examples हैं. अजिंक्य ने एक फोन के बारे में बात किया. विधि यात्रा it often uses a bunch of other services which we can talk about and later. There are many AWS customer success stories also. So the power of AWS, if you have questions on that, then happy to answer that. But more importantly, what is important for you is why should you learn, get certified on AWS? What is it for you from the year as well as your because from whatever I think that I put developers, learning matters with this people. Right? So I think all of this, we're open to questions from anyone here. And we are not having any like possible obviously. If you can't, then we get back to it. Made our job very easy, no questions. We can go back early. Don't ask me that. Please ask questions.
Any questions? No,
yeah.
in the city.
No, we going to
Yeah. What do you want to ask? It could be as silly as. Okay, great.
Please put it. Thank you.
Yes, yes. If you want to bring the websites, there's a free here. If you want, you can do it for product by experiment. आपको आपका अगर वेबसाइट बनाना है आप वेबसाइट डेवलपमेंट है आप पोस्ट भी कर सकते हैं लेकिन उसके बाद तो स्पीड में everybody, again, it's like all the environment, but it's everybody, uh, getting to family, right, or infrastructure, innovation, networking, you have to be with problem going forward, right? Imagine if you're in marketing also tomorrow, you have to be with problem, right? You're waiting for a deal, it is romantic. They are like, right? But I mean, like, if we have an cannot survive without leveraging the power of the internet. So it's not something that's fully low, maybe from your way, sometime or the other, right? But it generates like it's one of the areas where whenever the folks want to know what it's all about, but before it gets too late, just it's too late, learning and start early will be better. Understand what you have to offer, right? How it has implications over what you're trying to do as students, right? And relate back to what lot of the that we do. There are a lot of big things. If you're not done, I would recommend starting now. It's one single screen. There are multiple screens. Go down and then go down after because maybe to teach it after to serve their mobile.
Just,
What is the great books?
yeah, just to answer your question, so the educate lab, they give you access to learn about the Ajinkya medicine. From having like cytoproductive treatment, then you get sales on the. So first, leverage the educate AWS educate platform. Third, how to get certain type of AWS, and then think of selling because selling of don't know what the great, but अगर आपको कुछ पता नहीं और डेटाबेस प्लेटफॉर्म पे सर्वर्स पिन अप कर रहे हो तो बस सर्विस नहीं खुल रहा है मतलब
Exactly. Because it's paying for what you use.
It's paid.
For what you use.
Yeah, so we would really suggest our educate, use leverage educate, leverage your user group. User group. And it's not much. You just need to click a few buttons, be a part of a community, and go when you're free. That's it. Go when you're free for the event. That's all you need to do. There's also a few, as AWS we manage AWS, they is community. Instant those in detail right now because Abhi, Jaipur or Rajasthan, if you're a part of the user group, get some जानकारी बहुत आसान है. Thank you, sir. Thank you for presenting the well. Thank you, Shran and Prabhati, for attending this. At present, I invite PT ma'am to take the momentum.
Uh, So I hope the session was useful today. At least it gives a glimpse of what holding for the future. And I'm really glad that that it happened, especially because when I was in college, I never got a chance to have such kind of a session scheduled by my college at least. Right? It was too early for them to even realize what. I'm really thankful for the university. I think what they're doing here is fantastic. We need to also be thankful for them effort because investing in talent pretty early is something that's that we can count on for what lies in the future. Okay? So I'm really thankful for giving us the opportunity to.
Getting our age, a very good friend, thank you, Agnes. Thank you. I announce that we have even more than सेकंड फ्लोर पे चंद्रयान की तो लॉन्चिंग है वो लाइव दिखाई जाएगी तो ज्वाइन कीजिए और देखिए बेचारे बच्चे मायूस हो गए यार
आज जैसे जो स्टूडेंट का क्लास है कि है वो सेकंड फ्लोर पे है ना इंग्लिश लैब